Let me start with something that probably sounds familiar. You eat the same meals, you follow the same routine, you feel totally in control for a week or two, and then out of nowhere, something shifts. You're hungrier than you've ever been in days. You're craving things you weren't even thinking about. You feel bloated, tired, and a little more emotional than usual. And your brain immediately goes to the worst place. What did I do wrong? Why can't I stay consistent? Here's the truth: you didn't do anything wrong. Like I say in every episode, your body did exactly what it was designed to do. And once you understand why, I promise those moments will never feel the same again. I'm Dr. Brian Samuel. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're talking about menstrual cycle and how it quietly runs the background of your hunger, your energy, your cravings, and your mood every single month. Not because you're unpredictable, but because you're human. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: the menstrual cycle is not just a reproductive event, it's a full body hormonal rhythm. And the two main players, estrogen and progesterone, which never stay flat. They rise, they peak, they fall, and they change almost everything in the process. Let me walk you through a day and tell you what's actually happening. And obviously, it varies for each woman. The first half of your cycle, roughly the first 2 weeks, is called the follicular phase. Estrogen is climbing, and when estrogen is rising, a lot of women feel pretty good. Energy feels more steady. Appetite is a little easier to manage. Sleep is better. You feel more motivated. Some women describe this part of the month as feeling more like themselves. And that's not a coincidence. Estrogen actually supports serotonin, which is a brain chemical that helps with mood and appetite regulation. When estrogen is up, serotonin tends to follow. And when serotonin is up, hunger tends to feel quieter and more manageable. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Right around the middle of your cycle, you ovulate. Estrogen peaks and then starts to come down. Progesterone begins to rise, and the second half of your cycle, the luteal phase, starts. This is where a lot of people, particularly women, obviously, feel the shift. Progesterone does something specific. It raises your body temperature slightly. It increases your metabolic rate, meaning your body is burning a little more fuel just to do its basic functions. And one of the ways your body responds to that, it can ask for more food. This is not emotional eating. This is your body doing its job. Caloric needs in the luteal phase can be measurably higher than in the first half of your cycle. Some research suggests that the increase is anywhere between 100 to 300 calories per day, which is above the usual baseline. And if you're not eating enough to cover that, your body is going to make some noise about it. So, what does that noise sound like? For a lot of women, it sounds like cravings, specifically carbohydrates, chocolate, and sweet foods. And here's why that happens: serotonin drops in the luteal phase because estrogen drops. And one of the fastest ways the body can bring serotonin back up: carbohydrates. Carbohydrates help transport the building blocks of serotonin into the brain. So when you're reaching for the bread or the pasta or the chocolate at night during the second week, your brain isn't broken. Your brain is trying to fix a chemical imbalance in the most efficient way it knows how. Your body is self medicating, it just doesn't ask for permission first. And then there's fluid retention. Progesterone affects how the body holds onto sodium and water, so that puffiness feeling, the way the scale can jump 2 or 3 pounds overnight, even when you haven't even changed anything, that's water. That's your body adjusting to its hormonal chemistry. It's not fat, it's not failure, it's just fluids. Now let's talk about energy because this part matters. In the follicular phase, many women have more physical energy. Workouts feel easier, motivation comes more naturally. You might be more social, more talkative, more driven. In the luteal phase, especially the week before your period, a lot of women feel heavier, slower, more withdrawn. That's not laziness either. Progesterone has a calming, almost sedating effect on the nervous system. Your body is genuinely pulling back, it's conserving. And if you fight that, if you try to push through the same intensity, follow the same rigid plan, judge yourself for feeling different in week 3 than you did in week 1, that's where the frustration can come in. You are not being inconsistent. You are running two different engines in the same month. The other piece of this I want to name is mood. PMS is real. The irritability, the anxiety, the sadness, the feeling of being slightly more reactive than usual, those aren't character flaws. Progesterone can dampen the calming pathways in the brain. Estrogen drops pull serotonin down. Some women are more sensitive to these hormonal shifts than others, and the sensitivity is biological, not weakness. I see women in the clinic who have spent years thinking that they're too emotional or too unpredictable or not disciplined enough. And when we slow that down and actually map their symptoms to where they are in their cycle, things start to make sense in a way they never did before. The pattern was always there. They just didn't have the language for it. So, what do you actually do with this? The first thing is awareness. Start noticing where you are in your cycle and how you feel. Not to control everything, but to stop being blindsided by what's predictable. When the cravings come, instead of, why am I doing this again? You can say, I know what this is. That shift in language and mindfulness matters more than you think. The second thing is eating enough in the luteal phase. This is not permission to binge, or don't go up to your husband or significant other and say, hey, I'm in my luteal phase. I can eat whatever I want. Or you can, doesn't matter. It's just a permission to not undereat. If your body needs a little more fuel in those 10 days before your period, give it something real. Tell your significant other, I'm in my luteal phase. I can eat. I need more food. Protein, warm food, satisfying meals. Fighting that hunger with restriction tends to make those cravings louder and the mood worse. So don't fight your body. Just feed it, give it the right fuel. And the third thing is adjusting your expectations around that scale. If you're tracking your weight and you see it jump in the second half of your cycle, that number is not telling you the whole story. Water fluctuation tied to the hormones is real and it is normal. The number on the scale in week 2 of your cycle and the number in week 4 are not the same data. And now you know. You are not the same body all month. And once you understand that, consistency starts to feel much more possible. I'll close with this. The women I see in clinic who struggle the most are usually the ones trying to be the exact same person every single week. Same appetite, same energy, same output, and when they're not, they blame themselves. But your body is not trying to sabotage you. It's cycling through a biological rhythm that has been running since puberty. The hunger, the cravings, the tiredness, the bloating, those aren't signs that you failed. They're signs that your body is working exactly as designed. You are not broken, you're cyclical, and that is a completely different thing. Next episode, we're going to talk about perimenopause because a lot of women describe a moment where everything that used to work just stops working. The sleep changes, the body changes, the cycle becomes unpredictable, and nobody ever explained why. We're going to slow that down and try to make it make sense. I'll see you there.